Hi and welcome back to Plastic Models by a Regular Dude and the plastic model, or building a model from a photograph. I left off on steps 18 and 19, so those steps are complete. The only thing I did on 19 was to put on the lifting hooks, lifting eyes, the lights, and the brush guards. All of the tools I'll be putting on later after I get the hole painted and weathered. So the next part that's up is part 20, which is the first part of the breech assembly, and 21, which is the second part of the breech assembly. So I'm going to start cutting off those parts and start assembling them and see what happens. And while I'm thinking of it, as a quick note, I mentioned that right here there was a indentation where the outside hinge part attached to the hatch itself. And as you can see, after I scrape my filler off, it is smooth. So I'm going to sand it up a little bit just to get it the rest way smooth, because there's a few little burrs there, but worked pretty good. So just wanted to show you how that worked out. Alright, so I have the breech complete. All the parts glued on, and it is ready to go. And what I like to do in a case like this, since there's all these like little delicate parts here, put in a clothespin on the end of where the barrel attaches so it doesn't knock those parts around. Alright, so the next part, 22, 23, and 24 are the turret interior parts. Now, one thing to note on a vehicle like this, any open top vehicle, usually without exception, and I say usually because I don't know for sure if there are some that aren't like this, but since they are open top and you can see inside the turret will not be the white like the hull. Reason being, it cuts down on visibility, because from just a very, not too much of an angle, you can see inside of here, and the white would be pretty stark. So therefore the interior is olive drab, just like the exterior, and all of the fittings inside will be as well, with the exception of, obviously ammunition, small arms, and possibly some of the other fittings. You have the fire extinguisher, seat, stuff like that. So this is a good time to make sure you check your references. And in the book that I have, there are some good interior shots of the turret, so I can kind of see and make sure that all these fittings and stuff are olive drab, and I can also see what kind of wear and tear will be inside the vehicle. So I'm going to clean up these two turret halves and get those where they fit together properly, and then start attaching all the parts. Alright, there's one little part, actually two little parts here, that I want to bring your attention to, and this is just kind of a revisiting one of my methods for taking care of stuff like this. Now, this part right here, A6, those are very tiny, i.e., see if I can do this without launching it into oblivion. So this is the part right here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Now, as you can see, inside of that little part is an ejector pin mark. Now, that's one of those places where it is nigh on impossible to fill and sand, or just sand. So what I did, and I will show you the results here. As you can see, I got rid of it. And the reason you want to get rid of stuff like this is that actually faces up whenever it's applied to the inside of the turret. And when you put a wash in there, it's going to highlight that little ring. So it's kind of important to get rid of it. But all I did, and it was, you know, not too bad, but I just kind of held the part with my fingernail like this, and using this curved blade, as I've shown before, for doing small areas where you can't really reach a sander. Since it's curved, you can get it in there and scrape it smooth. It doesn't take very much, but you can scrape it smooth. Just make sure it's a newish sharp blade. That's the only thing I use this blade for. And you just kind of scrape it. Well, you can't really see what I'm doing here because it's so small. See if I can hold it with my thumbnail. Okay, hold it like that, and then just scrape it on the inside like that. And then once you get the ejector pin mark removed, then you can use your pointed blade and get all the little particulate matter out of there, and that will just make it look a whole lot better. Because like I said, I mean, it probably won't even be visible, especially once crew members and stuff like that get in there, you know, once I put figures in there. But I just wanted to show you how I do it, and it's a good idea to kind of stay in practice on that kind of stuff. And I used the same blade to get rid of a couple of as you can see here, there are a couple of ejector pin marks along the inside edge of the turret ring here. So it's a good idea to get rid of those as well. And I used the same method. I just got this blade. I was going to sand it, but it was, you know, taking a lot longer than I wanted, so I just resorted back to this. See if I can get where you can see it here. Scrape it away like that. Now, it wouldn't work all the time, especially on an older kit where the ejector pin marks are really deep. But for a newer kit where they're really shallow like this, that's all it takes. Just scrape that thing smooth. Now, you could sand it, but I just find this to be a little bit quicker. And it works good on curved areas. And I use the same method for getting rid of these here. So anyway, just wanted to bring that to your attention. Just kind of revisit one of the techniques that I've demonstrated in some of the other plastic models for beginners series. So on with assembling more of this. All right. So I got, obviously, the breech mechanism is all, gun breech is all complete, and I have also completed steps 22 through 27, and that included the interior turret parts, putting the turret halves together with the gun, the top plate, the counterweights for the back of the turret, more of the turret details, the added armor, mounting points, the all of the collapsible turret cover rods, and the main gun. so that is all done, and this is where it sits right now. The turret is complete, as you can see here. Again, the detail is very nice on this kit. The gun breech is just really nice. So now all I have to do is paint or work on a few more parts, but right now I'm currently waiting for some wheels, the appropriate wheels. I'm waiting for the grousers, and that's pretty much it. That'll be that much that I need, or those will be the things that I need to get to the painting stage. Then I can start working on the tarps and all the extra equipment. I also need to cut out and paint these, but I need to get some brass paint so I can paint these properly. I have some paint, but it doesn't look right, so I'm gonna have to go and get some paint for the brass on these, for the spare ammo, for the ammo racks, and then obviously I have all the tools, but again, those are all going to be painted at the same time as the rest of the vehicle. So for now, I'm going to stand still. So I'm going to end this video here with the completion of the primary construction, and I will revisit all this as soon as I get the rest of my parts. So with that, I'm going to call it quits on this particular video, and it may be, you know, a little time before I actually post an update on this, because, you know, like I said, I have to wait for the parts to come in. So anyway, that's it for this edition of Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, the beginner series, building models from a photograph. So as always, thank you for watching, and please comment below if you have any questions, concerns, hints, tips, or whatever. Post them below, and I will answer them as quickly as possible. So until next time, I will see you all later.